Your mother, where was she in the picture?
She was still in Georgia. They divorced, and what a wonderful lady. And I have an amazing relationship with her right now, and we've definitely become closer in the past few years.
She wasn't around much when you were growing up, right?
No, because that decision was taken out of her hands, which I don't wish I had a time machine, because I grew into who I grew into, and I don't know if I'd want to mess with that much. I think that but I wish that it would have worked out a little differently for her in terms of having a relationship with her
Earlier
son,
on, yeah.
especially her firstborn, because the narrative that I always received with that side of the family was that, that this was for the best. And my side of the family from Columbus, Georgia, they had a very specific arc, in terms of, they a couple people got arrested, and they had their whole thing. So I was always told, well, it's a good thing that you live here, because that's the projects, and you would be there, and da 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 da.
Right.
So I never hated her, but I was just like, oh, it's good that I'm here. Now, as a father, I feel for her, because she didn't get a chance to raise her firstborn and her young man. But we are definitely trying to make up for our lost time.
That's good.
That's my check.
What was the biggest lesson your grandmother that she taught you growing up that you still think about to this day that really helped carry you through your life?
I think my work ethic. I definitely think my work ethic. That's the thing that has gotten me through days when I didn't think I could get up. I think one of the biggest lessons she taught me, and I've talked about this before, is even in the depths of depression, and for anybody who has been through depression or is going through depression, and one of the hardest things is to show up, right?
So you're exhausted, you're drained, you don't feel good about yourself, you're self-loathing, you just want to lay around and do nothing.
You just want to lay around, and I'll even go a step further to say that for my own personal journey with depression, it's not even laying around and doing nothing. I've talked to my therapist, and the way that I visualize things. It's always, I think, I'm a very big sci-fi nerd, and it's I picture my battery, that if I'm this superhero, and I go out in the world, and I show up in my suit of armor, and I'm able to do everything I can, it's like someone has just gone around back and removed that battery. And no matter what I do, sitting there like, I gotta get up, but I can't function, because my battery, my arms are too heavy, my body is too heavy, my heart is too heavy, my legs won't work the right way. So the easiest thing to do is just to, is just to shut down. No matter what I want to do, I just shut down. So to combat that, because I've got to show up. I've got to show up for people. I have to show up for my daughter. I have to show up for my job, because my job is how I take care of the machinery that is set up around me. So I make my bed. That's one of the things that old lady, my grandmother, and if anyone, watching, if you are raised either an island, if you're of island descent, or if you're a child of an immigrant and you're first generation here, you know the thing of get up, make your bed, and go. And just go. Because once that bed is made, now you have stuff to do. You don't have the luxury of stopping. Now, to a degree on the surface, I will say that's it's a little toxic because that generation, what's depression? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
just mask it. Just, yeah.
If my grandma were still alive and we talked about it, and I think if I tried to explain to her, no, 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 mommy, you know, like when you feel really bad, I feel bad all the time. I still work, I still get up, I go, you know, so that generation is like, no, we don't have the luxury of I feel sad, I feel bad, I can't wake up, I can't go. So just do it and you don't talk about your stuff. That's the toxic component of that.
Right.
So I hear that. But the good piece of it is, if I make my bed, I have no option now because I've made my bed. It is, you could bounce a quarter off of it. I can't get back in that
You're
bed.
not going back in.
I'm not getting back in the bed. So now go. And that is how, even through some of the roughest patches, that has gotten me through. Even this past year, I lost my grandmother, and I've been very, you know, I've talked about it a little bit. I did Dancing with the Stars last year, and I dedicated it to her, and this is the anniversary of her. This month, actually, she's been gone a year. This is one of the darkest years I've had, because I always lived in fear of losing that old lady, and a lot of what I did in terms of success, once I got to a certain point, I was like, look, Ma, look what I did. Look, this is my show. I'm going to fly out to see my show. Look, Mom, this is the show that I'm in on tour. I'm going to fly you out. Look, Mom, I'm in Vegas. Come play all the slots you want and come and see the show. Look, Mom, I'll do a soap opera so you can come and say it. For so many of the things that I've done, I did so she could be happy. And then when that person's gone, it's like, oh, now what? Now what? And that little battery plucked right out my back.
Really?
So I've spent this past year really trying to dig myself out of that.
Wow. What has been the biggest, I guess, realization you've created in this last year? It sounds like you've been doing emotional coaching and therapy and supporting yourself in that. What is the thing you've learned since her passing in this last year that has supported you in facing the depression or the different things that you were chasing and running from to now face and heal and mend? What are those lessons you learned?
One of the lessons is definitely how to start to try to forgive myself, which is very hard, especially if you think that you've done things wrong, because there are no time machines. So the most that you could do is either sit and dwell on it and go, I'm such a hole and I've blown all this stuff and I'm wrong, blah, 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 and live in that, or decide to go, I did, or that really wasn't your fault, man. Like you just took blame for something that, because it's also easy, especially where depression lays, it's very easy to, well, I've already got 10 pounds of stuff on my back. Yeah, I'll just take more, because now it's an excuse. Now I can just wrap up in it, and now I have a reason.
Life is depressed.
Yeah, now I have a good reason. So learning to,
I got this pressure and this thing and this weight and all this responsibility.
bring it.
Wow.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.